tend to be less amused. Why Evie? I ask Leo. Because I am protective. Like a brother, or a cousin, or a concerned citizen with no familial relationship whatsoever. Leo's quiet for a moment. Then he says, I like how you can tell she's thinking so much more than she's saying. And how she never backs down with Dr. Lewis. And the way she bites her lip when she's working on a problem. My physics grade dropped 4 points since I noticed her doing it. There's nothing I can reasonably object to here. No hint that Evie is just some challenging level on a video game he'd like to be the first to unlock. If you're really not interested, you could talk to her for me? Leo says. He is not the first to ask for help jailbreaking Evie's code, but I never provide tech support for my classmates. I like watching them crash and burn. Because, let's face it, I am totally in love with Evie Beckham.
Evie. These are the stories of my childhood. Georg Cantor, the inventor of set theory, spent much of his life locked within the walls of an asylum. Kurt Gödel wrote 2 of the most famous theorems in all of mathematics and then starved to death when his wife got sick because he refused to eat food prepared by anyone else. And game theorist John Nash disappeared into his own head. I could go on, but the last time I saw Anita, she told me I needed to stop perseverating on ill-fated mathematicians. She said fixating on their troubles is unproductive. I wish someone would tell my mother. Today, Anita invites me in before I have a chance to start my homework. The living room of the turn-of-the-century house has been converted into a therapist's office, including the requisite lounge on which to recline, and French doors that lead out to a walkway so patients never have to encounter each other coming and going. This system is supposed to protect my privacy, but it just makes me feel as though I ought to be ashamed to be here. The one consolation is Anita herself. She has a big smile, wild curly hair traced with gray, and feels more like an aunt than a doctor. She's the first therapist I found myself. Mom, who wrote her dissertation on the relationship between mental illness and mathematical genius, sees my visits as preventative maintenance, and she picked a psychiatrist for me when I came to Newton. But I left him last year when I started to feel more anxious about going to appointments than I did about staying away. How is everything? Anita asks, taking one of the chairs in front of the French doors because I refuse to lie down on that ridiculous couch. Bex and I finished our applications for the University of Chicago. We applied because it has a top-notch theoretical physics department for me and an amazing med school acceptance rate for Bex. Knowing we'll be together makes me less panicky about the whole thing. And Caleb? Anita asks with a smile. Still making up his mind. Would it be okay with you if you went somewhere far away? I think about it. He won't. You're very certain, she says. And I am. My fears are legion. All the normal ones. 8-legged creatures, enclosed spaces, speaking in public, dolls that talk, and overly enthusiastic elementary school teachers. But quite a few unusual ones as well. Frogs. Why do their legs bend like that? Bridges, empty swimming pools, full restaurants, and Jell-O. Touching or eating, which Caleb says is entirely rational. But I am not afraid that Caleb will go to college far away from me. We've been friends our whole lives. The simplicity of this statement doesn't capture everything I mean, but I'm not sure what to add. Sometimes friends grow apart, Anita suggests. Not us, I say, but I don't like the flicker of doubt that flares up at her words. I hope not, but it might be a good idea to widen your circle a little, beyond Bex and Caleb. Get some practice getting to know people while you're somewhere you feel safe. But people are boring. You go to a school with 120 math and science prodigies, Anita says. Find a couple more.